Hey guys, so today we are planting potatoes. And we're planting them over in the cut flower garden because that's where I have the most amount of space. I've got some of them up here on the table because I cut some of them last night so that they had time to dry, but the rest of them are in the root cellar. So we're gonna grab those. They're last year's potatoes. They're already starting to sprout in the root cellar, so it's kind of perfect. I'm not gonna even worry about cutting those. We're just gonna pop them in the ground. But I did promise Benjamin he could ride in the tractor with me real quick to move a couple containers from behind the greenhouse out to the cut flower garden. So we're gonna do that before we get into the potatoes. I already went and got the tractor and Benjamin has been waiting out here. Aaron's gonna help because these pots are big. Hey buddy, I see you. I see you. Are you ready to have a ride? Okay.
Yeah.
You are. So funny. Okay, so I thought he was telling me to come further, and he meant for me to curl the blade up, and so that's how we got into that little snag there for a minute. What do you want me to do? Good? Okay. Oh, mercy. We need to work out our tractor signals a little bit better. I just don't know them, I guess.
A good driver.
Thanks, bud. I need the encouragement.
I've been working on the railroad just to pass the time away.
Can't you hear the whistle blowing? Rise up so early in the morning. Can't you hear the captain shouting? Time to blow your horn. We're getting potatoes, buddy. I think this one might be empty. What's in here? Dark Red Norlands. Ooh, they need to be planted too. Okay.
I love you.
I love you too, baby. Doesn't that look awesome? Just everything that we bring out here, especially the fact that that one has green in it and flowers, and anything to help kind of define the borders is such a help. I love seeing these beautiful daffodils out here, and they're just starting to bloom. So we'll have a lot of enjoyment, or we'll get a lot of enjoyment out of these rather. I mean, there's just buds all the way around. This one is a little bit further ahead of the game. There's just a few more blooms up front. Cannot remember the name of these, but aren't they amazing? I'll try to find the name. I ordered them from Color Blends. This one needs a little work in terms of leveling up just a bit, but I need Aaron back out here to help me with that. And then I've got everything that pretty much everything I need to start potatoes right here other than the compost, which we'll go grab in a second. But I've got my starter fertilizer, my shovel, my gloves, and my potatoes, some of which are new this year. I bought German Butterballs, not realizing that I have a whole bin full of them right there. And then Huckleberry Golds. And these I took inside because I cut those last night and I needed to give them a chance to heal over. You can see that that's nice and dry. And the rest that I have here out of the root cellar, I went in there and just double checked that we didn't have any rotting or anything like that. And they all look good. They're just all sprouted. So we're just gonna use these that we've been eating off of all fall and winter and spring long. But there's enough left to use as seed stock for this year. But most of them just look like this. So they're already starting to take off and grow. We're way ahead of the game here. And I just decided I'm just gonna plant all of these whole. I'm not gonna worry about cutting them. So to prep your potatoes, you can just cut them like I've done if you've got lots of eyes in the potato, because that's where your potato plant grows from. Like that right there is the starting of your potato plant. And if you've got lots of eyes on a potato, then you can cut them like this. Because see, there's two really good eyes right there. And then the other half of that potato has two other eyes. So we can get multiple plants from just one seed potato. You don't have to cut them if you don't want to. If you do cut them, you need to do it like a day or two in advance to let that cut end heal over. Otherwise, you can pre-sprout your potatoes like this if you have a short growing season. To do that, you take your potato, which does not look like this. They usually just have like the little tiny eyes on them, and you spread them out somewhere warm. You do it a few weeks in advance, and then it just makes them start to grow. It just stimulates their growth to where they'll sprout out, maybe not this much, but a little bit. So it just puts you a little bit more ahead. So you can go about that any way you want to do it. Let me show you a close-up again. So you can see that this was one potato yesterday. It's all puckered and dried in. But this side right here has two really good eyes, and we plant the potatoes with the eyes facing up. That is the plant that will grow. And then this is the other half, and this one's got like 3 good eyes on it. So we'll plant that one cut side down with the eyes facing up. And then like this one from last year, already pre-sprouted, we plant that one with the growth facing up. In fact, some of it might stick out of the ground. And then sometimes when you've got like little itty bitty potatoes like this without really good strong eyes, I mean, technically I could cut this. There's eye on that side, there's an eye on this side, and a few in between. But I'm just gonna pop these little guys just straight down in the ground. Plus I've got a whole bunch, so I'm not lacking seed potatoes right now. And these varieties range anywhere from a 75-day maturity with the dark red Norlands, where we'll be harvesting very quickly, all the way to like 100 to 130 days with the German Butterballs. It just depends on what variety you're planting. I like to have a little smattering of a bunch, and I like to try new varieties. Typically, I'm not trying any new varieties this year, but typically I like to throw a new one in the mix. I am planting out here in the cut flower garden next to our row of onions, just because I have space and water out here. And yeah, I think it'll be pretty easy planting. We're going to plant them in a trench about 6 inches deep, about 8 to 12 inches apart. So technically I don't even have to dig a trench. I can just plant each individual potato. That might be easier. Yeah, I think I might do it that way. Some people hill their potatoes, so they'll actually dig a trench a little bit deeper. They'll plant their seed potato and just barely cover it, and then as the potato grows, they just continually put that extra dirt over the new growth. And I've done it that way before. I do it the 6-inch route, like anywhere from 5 to 6 inches deep, and then just cover them completely over, because I will come in with a side dress of compost a little bit later and kind of hill up the plant once it's up above the soil surface. That way it gives it a little bit more elbow room. You possibly get more tubers that way, especially if you've got really heavy soil, but I just have pretty good luck planting them this way. We had amazing yields the last few years in our raised beds in our vegetable garden, so this will be different. We'll see how well we do out here. So I'm just gonna get all of these planted. Hopefully we get them all on the ground. We'll see. And just a quick look, I've got flowers, I think, in the first 2 rows. There's onions, and then this is gonna be my potato row. And that is about 60 feet. Did you get that all dirty? Mm-hmm. Yes.
From the dirt.
Yeah, from the dirt. Mm-hmm. I'm going to plant 4 rows, but I'm going to do it kind of like 1, 2, 3, you know, kind of like almost checkerboard style or zigzag, so that they're spaced out, but I'm gonna still try to use this space efficiently because I really do have a lot of flowers to plant in here. We'll go ahead and link last year's video down below, because I did go through all of the different varieties a little bit more in detail if you are interested in that. So you can find that link in the description of the video. Here we go. had to do the barn really quick. We got the biotone and compost down, but as I was thinking about individually digging holes for these potatoes rather than digging a big old trench, why not use the auger, like the long one? The soil's all fluffy anyway because Aaron already tilled it, so I don't have to worry about like working up the soil to make it fluffy for these potatoes to grow. I just merely need to make a little hole for them to go in, so I think this will make it a lot faster. I'm thinking, let's see, like maybe this one? Wouldn't that be nice, bud? Or wait, how about this one? Yes, I won't have to bend over at all. That is the way to go. Can you manage that one? Can you pick it up and put it in the gator? I'm gonna get the drill, okay, bud?
This one is heavy.
It is heavy, you got it, buddy. I'll need this and one of these. And there we have it. So technically 60-foot rows, I did 4, one on either side of the drip tape and then 2 in the center, so that's 240 feet of potatoes. Roughly spaced about a foot apart. I went quite far. Some of them have so much growth they look like they're about ready to crawl out of the ground. I don't expect those tips to survive, but the potato will start growing. I mean, there's more sprouts below the soil surface and we should start seeing some green pretty quick. I'm guessing. I still need to water them all in. Using that auger was awesome. And I wouldn't normally say to do that or recommend it if you have really compacted soil, because doing a trench allows you to kind of work that soil up a little bit and make it a little bit more fluffy so that the potatoes have room to grow and form their tubers. But since this had already been tilled, I just thought, you know, I could try to push them down in the soil or use a trowel just to kind of move some of the earth out of the way. But if I can just zip, 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 zip with the auger just to move the soil out of the way to make my hole deep enough, like how awesome is that? And it goes so fast. I mean, I planted 240 feet of potatoes in less than an hour. So once the potatoes start putting on a little bit of growth up above the soil surface, I'll come in and side dress with some more compost, and that'll help just add more nutrients in around the plant, and it gives them a little tiny bit more elbow room if they might form more tubers. They may or may not. But I've got a total of 5 varieties in here. I planted the most of the Yukon Golds because they're one of my favorites. I use them the most in our kitchen. But we've got dark Red Norlands, Huckleberry Golds, German Butterball, mercy, I can't remember, Russet Burbank, and Yukon Gold. And once the potatoes start putting some growth on up above the soil surface, I'll come in with more compost and side dress each one of the rows pretty heavily. It'll, one, help add some more nutrients in around the crop, and they have some more, you know, goodies to feed them to create bigger tubers. It'll also possibly, they may form a few more tubers if they've got more soil surface, you know, to grow in, which that just creates more when you add more on top. But I'll wait till they're several inches tall before I do that. And that is gonna be it for today's video. I'm gonna stand out here for a little while, water these in, but our water is being actually programmed right as we speak. The guys are working on getting the programming done so I can actually run this without having to hand water. But it's always a good idea to hand water everything in first so you know that all the soil is settled in really nicely around everything. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you in the next one. Bye.